Concurrent teaching to me is creating an opportunity for all students to participate, whether that is in person or online. It's not something that I naturally thought of when I first started teaching 17 years ago, but as our technologies have improved and as the opportunity to keep students safe has been forefront in my mind, I've spent more and more time creating concurrent teaching as my teaching strategy.
So today, what are we going to do? We're going to do reflections on leadership in higher ed. And I'll close with some Q&A about the assignment, and we'll kind of go from there.
And when I sat down this semester and thought about my course, one of my deepest concerns was if a student is unwell and needs to not come to class, how will they still participate and still get the richness of my class experience? I reminded students that participation in the virtual world meant just that, participation. It did not mean passively turning on a camera and pretending that they were there. It meant actually engaging in the course material, but just engaging in a virtual environment. So one student in my course wrote, "I think dual modality is brilliant. As a student who lives in a house of 5, I spent 5 weeks of my semester quarantining because COVID made its way through my household. It is because of dual modality that I was able to stay on track with the course and not miss a thing." That's pretty powerful because this student would have missed 5 weeks of the semester because of COVID. I don't know that in any other situation that I would have done them justice trying to keep them caught up in the class, trying to keep them engaged. But this student was able to participate fully from the safety of her quarantine bedroom. The first tip or trick that I might suggest to faculty who find themselves either wanting to do concurrent teaching or by virtue of the need to accommodate students is to relax. Now, I know that's easy coming from someone who's done it to say relax about it, but I think students are a lot less critical of the flexibility being offered than we think they might be. My second tip is, if at all possible, go into the room prior to starting to teach and work with a colleague or a teaching assistant or someone else to be on the remote end to help you understand what it looks like. Practicing ahead of time, even just for an hour or so before the class gets into the space, gives you the opportunity to make sure that you feel comfort. And then my last bit of advice would be open to a pivot, being prepared with an alternate activity in sort of my back pocket, or being ready to say to students, this didn't go the way I planned, we're going to work on it again next class session. Took some of the pressure I had off to feel like I had to be perfect every single session. I think that dual modality or concurrent teaching may become part of the future, particularly as we recognize, especially here at UT Austin, that our population of students and their life concerns are changing. I think one really important thing that we don't often think about is how few of our students have the luxury of only being a student. The more adaptive and responsible we can be with accommodating all students means that more students are likely to succeed and graduate. I do hope that our technology improves and our ability on campus to have more and more technology to make this more seamless improves, because there are days when it's not easy, but easy doesn't always mean that's the wrong thing to do. I think we need to do more of this. I think we need to have more faculty who are willing to make accommodations and recognize that some of us even benefit just from having a recorded lecture to go back and review. And that not all of us have the flexibility to plan our entire life around a class schedule. So I really do think that this is hopefully something that we will consider more of in higher education, or create better class structures that, whether it's dual modality, concurrent teaching, whatever you want to call it, that students can continue to remain engaged in the course material if they can't physically be present.